you so much for joining me. So today we are going to run through a short movement snack. We're going to be isolating the pelvis, and you're wondering why. Might be wondering why. But the pelvis, when we don't know how to mobilize it, we don't know how to isolate it, and we don't regularly move that area, can contribute to chronic pain, chronic stiffness, lower back pain, sciatica issues. And so these mobility drills, once done regularly, I would say about twice a week, can actually help you just move better. This is all attached to this, and we stand for long periods, sit for long periods. And I know a lot of us actually have issues with lower back, with sciatica, with hip pain, and mobilizing the pelvis can actually help mitigate some of those issues. Okay, so I understand that some of you might not even know how to do this. That's why I am going to teach you two different ways. We're going to do a quick sensory input warm-up. You always have the freedom of doing the sensory warm-up, which is brain-based warm-up that enhances our brain-body connection, and then come back, or you can just join me for this really quick targeted sensory warm-up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to lean on one side, place one leg down, foot on the ground, and I just want you to turn this way so you can see. We're going to rub the front of the belly, the lower belly, the hip area, get our sides of the hips, all this area. We're going to be mobilizing the lower back right up here above the glute muscle. Then we're going to target that glute muscle, make sure that we get all the glute, the entire glute, because those glutes do help in mobilizing our pelvis. The upper hamstring, a little bit of mid hamstring, the side of our thigh, and our upper thigh, inner thigh, belly. Okay, switching sides. Now you might be wondering why we do this. This helps wake up that brain-body connection, helps wake up the neural networks that help us feel more in our body. The more aware we are of what we're doing in our bodies, interoception, and then proprioception, what we're doing in space, the better you're going to feel in your body. So we're going to rub the hip, the outside of the hip, the top of the thigh, the front of the hip and the lower belly, inner thigh, the back of the thigh, the entire glute muscle. Give yourself a good rub, okay? All right, so now what we're going to do is the next part of our little short warm-up, thoracic glides. Sit in a nice comfortable crisscross applesauce or comfortable straddle, whatever feels good to you. We're going to place 2 fingers on the bony plate that connects our ribs, the sternum. Okay, I want you to just sit in a neutral position that feels good to you. What we're going to do is we're going to isolate the rib cage. We're going to pretend like it's floating, hovering over our ribs, our hips, floating over our hips. Okay, we're going to pretend like somebody poked us on the side, and we're going to shift over, maintaining a parallel line throughout our shoulders to the ground, and we're going to shift side to side. Now, these movements might be teeny tiny, but we want to make sure that we are not engaging anything in our shoulders. We're not engaging anything in our sacral or lumbar spine. This is all thoracic movement. That's why it looks very tiny. Okay, we're going to go side to side. Remember, we're hovering over our hips. So if you have the tendency of coming forward, bring yourself back, okay? You can close your eyes, pretend like you're on a track, and your ribs are just gliding side to side. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, because our brain really likes it when we utilize our nose for inhalation, because it's meant to filter out all those particles that we don't want going into our lungs. Okay, we're going to come back to center. I'm going to turn this away so you can see me better. We are going to push that rib cage forward, push the rib cage back. Notice how my shoulders are staying out of it. They are not engaging, they're not rounding, and they're not coming back, okay? They're neutral. So the entire rib cage will go forward and then back. Notice that there's small movements, and it's like a pendulum swinging back and forth. You can close your eyes, visualize that pendulum, feel what your body is feeling on the inside. Do you have any areas of stiffness? Do you have any areas of pain? Now you might be wondering why it is we're doing thoracic lies when we're working on our pelvis. It's all connected. So we're just trying to warm up the body, get it ready for that particular movement. Okay? We are going to connect the dots. And instead of making diamonds, we're going to make circles. So we're going to push the thoracic spine forward, round it out to the side, round it out to the back, round it out over, and bring it around. Close your eyes. Pretend that your hips, your ribs, are hovering over your hips. Pretend they're floating in space, and they're creating circles over the pelvis. Okay? The shoulders are maintaining their neutral position. The pelvis isn't really engaged. It's just allowing for the movement of the thoracic spine. So you will feel your weight shifting from one booty cheek to the other. We're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, we're going to come to the front. We're going to shift over to the side and round it out to the back, over to the side to the front. And I'll show you from this direction. Over, back. Now, you can do these standing as well. Our ribs are hovering over our pelvis. Our shoulders are remaining neutrality. And everything's just gliding. We're trying to make every subsequent circle more perfect than the last. Okay, coming back to center. Let's go ahead and work on that pelvic mobility. So there are two ways of doing this. There is the supine position, and then there is the tabletop position. I will do the tabletop position first. Now, we can always shift our weight when we're in this position more towards our legs. Okay, so we can go this way more, or we can go on top of our hands, dependent on how much our wrists allow for that particular movement. Now remember, when you're learning new things and you're putting pressure in areas that you're not used to putting pressure, like your wrists, you're going to hurt a little bit. You're going to have some discomfort. And unfortunately, if you want to progress to being able to do it, you're going to have to be okay with some discomfort. But if you don't want to do these, that's okay. You can skip to the next part where we're lying down on our backs. Okay, so finding the appropriate weight distribution that's good for you. So leaning back or leaning forward. We are going to focus, remember those thoracic isolations that we just did? We're going to push the thoracic spine down, but now we're going to allow the pelvis and the booty to go up. Okay, you can place your hand on your hip so that you can feel this part tilt up. So this is an anterior pelvic tilt, okay? And the thoracic spine is engaged, push forward. Now I'm gonna go ahead and push the booty down, push the booty down. You notice that the thoracic spine then pushes back. Everything's tucked under. Posterior pelvic tilt. So everything's down. The way I described it to my daughter, because I was trying to help her understand how to isolate her pelvis, is, okay, we're trying to clench the butt cheeks together and push it down. But then when we tilt back up and we push that thoracic rib cage forward, it's almost like we're spreading the booty cheeks up in the air. Okay? I also like to describe it as we're painting with our tailbone. We are making lines going up and down like we have a tail with a paintbrush attached to it. Okay, so we're going to go up, anterior tilt, and then forward, posterior tilt. Now, what I want you to do is try not to engage the thoracic spine. So let's try to find neutrality from the cervical, thoracic to the lumbar, and just focus on the sacral movement. Okay, so we're going to tilt, 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 tilt. And then we're going to tilt the other direction, tucking under. We're going to tilt, 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 tilt. And I like to say tuck and tilt, even though they're both tilts in different directions, because it kind of helps us understand, okay, we're tucking that booty underneath. We're trying to bring everything and we're tucking the tail under like we're doggies. And then we're bringing that booty up to the sky, spreading the glute muscles. Okay. Now, once you have this, once you're able to isolate the pelvis, we're going to learn how to shift over. So now let's go ahead and find neutrality. Pretend there's a line running from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Try to extend that line, make it as straight as possible. We are going to shift the hip in one direction towards the shoulder. So we're pinching the side. Okay. Turn this way. Pinching the side. We're going to shift in the other direction. You have a paintbrush in your tailbone and you're drawing lines from side to side, maintaining neutrality in the spine. And this is only for the purpose of isolating this particular area. You know how I feel about neutrality in the spine. There's no such thing. We all have curves in our spine. We're all meant to be able to do a million different things with curves in our spines. Okay, we're going to go side to side a couple more times. Okay, back to center. Let's go ahead and connect the dots. We're going to round it out. Instead of making a diamond shape, we're going to make a circle. So let's go ahead and anterior pelvic tilt. Spread the cheeks. Turn this way. Spread the cheeks. Shift to one direction. Round it out. Shift to the other direction. Come back up. Okay. Paintbrush in the tailbone is now drawing circles. You're trying to draw as perfect circles as you can. You're smoothing out every rough edge. You're making every subsequent circle more perfect than the last. Now, because we're not looking at that area, you're gonna have to rely on interoception. What does it feel? Close your eyes. What does it feel like when you're drawing these circles in the air, in your body? Do you feel the tucking and the tilting and the shifting over from side to side? We're gonna go ahead and stop at the bottom, come over to the other side, round it out to the back, up, tilting up, side, down. Now we're drawing circles in the other direction. Smoothing out every rough edge, making every subsequent circle more perfect than the last. You notice, if you close your eyes, feel the feelings in your body. You're engaging your glutes. You're engaging those lower back muscles. You're engaging parts of your hamstrings to help you get this pelvis around. Okay, we're going to do two more. We're going to bring our feet together, push back, come down, wherever is comfortable for you. Stop at your full range of motion and just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, supine position. Basically, same mechanics are involved, but we're going to be on our back. So we're going to come into this position. Feet in a comfortable place. You don't want them too close to the booty because it will limit movement, but you don't want them too far away because it will also limit movement. Find a nice comfy position for them. Okay, so when we're here, since we have the ability to utilize our hands, we're going to place them on our hips, on our pelvis, this area, just the juice area. Okay, and we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together to give ourselves a nice base. So when we're trying to do an anterior pelvic tilt in this position, what I want you to feel is that there's kind of a little entrance, little gap, because everything's tilted this way. The thoracic spine is pushed forward slightly, okay? And you're trying to get that booty up. You're using those glutes to bring that pelvis back into that anterior pelvic tilt. Now, place the hands, reverse the directions of where the hands and the fingers are. Thumbs should be on the top, fingers in the bottom. We're going to manipulate the hips, see? And I'm tucking, using those glute muscles to tuck the booty under. Okay, and now the lower back should be on the ground and our butt should be off the ground because we're tucking that pelvis. So we'll tilt, 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 tilt. Got a little space in the lower back. Then we're going to tuck, 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 tuck. Got a space underneath the booty. do this a couple more times. Okay, then we're going to tuck. Remember to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now you should be noticing when you're tilting, you're using more lower back muscles. When you're tucking, you're using more glute muscles. It shifts to the glutes. Okay, we're going to do it one more time. Okay, now, if you feel up for it, let's go ahead and bring the pelvis up a little bit. Let's raise the hips up to the sky. Okay, we are going to tilt, 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 tuck, tuck, tuck. Notice how, because I'm on the ground, I can't involve the thoracic spine. So this is a really great way of learning how to isolate this particular area, but it is a little spicy because you're raised up in the air, so you're utilizing even more muscles to accomplish this movement. Okay, we're going to go ahead and lower one vertebrae at a time. Boom. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to shift from side to side like we did in tabletop. Raise the glutes off the mat a little bit. Okay, we're going to shift our weight over. You're going to feel your weight shift to one leg. You're going to shift to the other side. Pretend like you have a book or a yoga block on your belly and you don't want it to fall. Okay, actually there. So we're trying to find that nice little pinch. We're pinching the hip towards the shoulder. We're not just shifting the weight. So make sure that the entire pelvis is involved. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the dots. Round it out, make circles. We're going to go down, tilt, 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 anterior pelvic tilt, round out to one side, come forward, round out to the other side, come down and around. Okay, these are a little spicier than the ones in tabletop. They do involve more muscle activation to help raise the pelvis and lower. So we'll do just a few. We'll do one more in this direction and then we'll reverse. Reverse the circle, shift over to one side, come down into the tilt, come up, tuck, over, down, and around. If you need to bring your booty down and bring your knees up to your chest, do that to decompress. Do one more. Stop at the top, slowly lower one vertebrae at a time. You're going to use your butt muscles to help you do that. Go ahead, bring your knees, your shins, or your ankles up towards your chest. You might be here, it's okay. Wherever you are, find your comfy spot. This is supposed to feel good. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done. That's it. That's the workout. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if there's anything else that you want to see from me. I'm starting to feel a little better, so maybe in the next week or two I'll be putting out more full workouts. Anyway, hope you all have a beautiful symptom-free day, and yeah, I'm gonna do shoulders and